We brought an action in Queens County against the DA's office, the district attorney's office. We had a client who was attacked by her husband and was stabbed and threatened by her husband. And her husband got away. Eventually, a few days later, the police caught him and arrested him. And they wanted my client to come down to do a grand jury, be a grand jury witness. She went down to the grand jury, and she was informed that her husband had actually shot his first wife and served about 5 years for shooting his first wife. And they informed her and reassured her that he would not be released under any circumstances, that no judge is going to give him bail, having that sort of a history. That somewhat appeased her, and she went home. She came back again at the request, and her witness testimony was postponed again. And at this time, she had received a phone call from her husband. And she came back all traumatized, and she told the district attorney, my husband called me. And they said, no, that's not possible. You know, he's not calling you, he's not out. There's no way that they're going to let him out. Don't worry about it. She went home, but she was afraid, and she had a friend stay with her. She lived in a railroad apartment in Queens, up a very steep flight of stairs. She was talking to a friend. The husband climbed in the back window. He grabbed a very big butcher's knife, and he came into the room where they were talking. He grabbed the friend by the throat and said, "Be quiet, I'm going to kill you, bitch." He then dragged the friend down the stairs and threw out the door. Meantime, he had in his other hand his wife, and now was dragging her back up the stairs. Fortunately, at the top of the stairs, she broke loose, and she ran through the railroad apartment, slamming doors as he was breaking down each door, getting to her. Finally, at the street, she jumped through the window to get out to the street, 1 story up. As she jumped through the window, he stabbed her in the back, causing very severe injuries. He then escaped again and was recaptured about a week later. So while she was in the hospital, all she was thinking is that he's going to come back and get me in the hospital. As a result of that case, first we had appellate division law, made appellate division law. The DA lost his file, and the judge dismissed the answer, struck the answer of the DA's office, saying that this was clearly almost an intentional act of their part to cover up what actually happened. And that was appealed, and we won in the appellate division, so that's still the law. We had a verdict, which at the time was the highest verdict for psychiatric injuries alone. Was later knocked down by the appellate division, but at the time was the highest award for psychiatric injuries. And importantly, most importantly to a degree, we had the DA change their policy where they would not release a defendant that was involved in an assault case of some sort without notifying the person who was assaulted that they were going to release him. Because had they notified her, she would have gone someplace else out of the state. So it was a very, on all aspects of it, it helped her as best she could to move on, and it helped future people from being injured.